Welcome to episode number 94 of the BEBC
BS.
BS.
Wow.
I'm out of sync. I was thinking 5.
Podcast.
So don't show up for
it's fine,
breakfast. You know, you show up for...
Have you been drinking all night?
No, I've been editing all night.
Well, you said you were going to go home and sit on the back patio and
Smoke a
a cigar
cigar
and drink a bourbon. So
I
I'm
didn't.
wondering.
I did neither of those. I went home. My lovely wife was not home from teaching class at Collin College yet.
Wow.
Wow, that's
That
late.
was late.
I know. She was not happy when she got home.
Uh-oh. What?
Did you fake like you were asleep?
I asked her how she was doing. She said, "What do you think?"
Oh, goodness.
Oh!
Dude.
Ow!
Was she stuck in the game time traffic like everybody else?
Can you go out and come in and try that again?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Circle. Groundhog Day. Let's start this one over.
No, it just, teaching is a beatdown when you're not a late night person and you've got a 5-hour class at Collin College that ends at 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, it's not good.
That's incredible that they run one that late
Yeah.
on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. Well, 94, episode 94,
Yeah.
in honor of current Eagle, great nephew of the Bridges, Mason Smith.
Mason.
Does that make them really old?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing the math.
Randy may be. Jill, nah.
Not so much,
Not
okay.
so much. But Randy,
Gray
29.
gray is the new black.
Gray.
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. Well, here we are. Week 3 is over. The non-district schedule is over.
Yay.
And the Allen Eagles are 2-1.
Yeah, that's good.
Here we are.
And Coach Wig did not get his wish.
You know, he did not. And,
Maybe next year.
Bless his heart. What a game last night.
Bless his heart.
I
It was a roller coaster, wasn't it?
I left my piece of paper in the house.
Which piece of paper?
Here's a
Yeah,
piece of
What
paper.
happened?
Well, I had a whole list of things that aggravated me during the game.
Oh my gosh!
I think we could
Well,
probably
I know
line
one
those out
thing
for
that
you.
didn't aggravate you.
It did
so,
not
yeah.
aggravate me.
So that
5
was awesome.
quarters worth did not aggravate me. But
No.
what
Yeah.
a strange game, in my mind.
Well, let's start with the venue. The venue is a strange place to play.
It's not even
I don't
strange.
know anybody that likes it. Maybe
It's
the kids
ridiculous.
like it.
I mean, there was already comments all
Jerry
over
likes
Facebook
it
about
because
it
we
last
don't
night.
use his stadium.
Well, he had the big concert going on. There were a lot of, oh my gosh, a lot of logistical issues
Oh yeah.
yesterday, because as many people know, you had Bad Bunny concert at AT&T.
Bad
Whoever the
Bunny.
heck that is. I know I'm old. I don't know who Bad Bunny is. You had the Rangers playing at Globe Life,
Yep.
and then you had the football game here at Choctaw. Plus, you had a wreck on the Bush,
Yep.
which started backing everything up almost to LBJ, and it was just getting there was an adventure for a lot of people,
Right.
Must have been
Well,
backed
Including the band.
including the
Must have been
band.
backed up to Allen for them being so late.
You know,
It must have
and
been.
bless their hearts, I have to admit after thinking about it, because there's lots of things we can say about that, right or wrong, indifferent, whatever, but
Yeah.
just those poor kids had to sit on the buses for that long.
3 hours.
What a
3-hour
nightmare.
bus tour. Yeah.
That would be.
Somehow I think they found ways to get through that.
Well,
I wonder
you know.
which bus Gilligan was on.
Do you know how many camp songs they went through?
Oh, that was band camp.
How many
Oh,
games
Lord.
can you play?
They played every one of them, but they got there. But just getting there,
Well, let's answer one or two questions. Why can't they leave earlier? The buses, there's so many of them. The buses have to take all the kids home because they have to do their normal
from
route.
school, yes.
Then they have to come back, load up the band, and then leave. Plus, there's shortages of bus drivers, and they got there when they got there. Because people are moving out up to Kansas and stuff, man. Gosh.
Where?
And then people say, "Well, why don't you rent buses?" Well, there you go. Y'all won't even.
With all that extra money.
And
Yeah.
they say, who's going to pay for that? Well, the band parents could.
Yeah, they could. They're rich.
But
That is true.
But
We're
no,
all
I mean,
West
this is a
Siders.
district thing. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
And we would have gladly sung the fight song, after a score or whatever, but they had it recorded. Everything was recorded. It's almost like they knew
That was actually
this
pretty
was gonna
nice.
happen.
It was. Yeah. How'd that happen?
How's that? That doesn't happen anywhere else.
Oh, no, it hasn't. somebody.
That one good thing about that stadium last night.
Yeah.
Because the original music about
For
blew
those
our
of you
ears
who
off.
got there before the game started.
Oh
What?
my God!
The original music, there was some guy named Jack that tweeted Choctaw Stadium and said we're going to have some hearing loss. I don't know if that's what did it, but they
I thought
turned
his
the
name was
music down.
James.
Now,
No.
That was Jack.
No, that was Jack.
and I
don't
talked
know
to
Jack.
somebody who had talked to one of the ushers, and the usher said there's no speakers on the other side of the stadium, so they have to crank it up over here.
Yeah.
And listen, I love loud music. You'll catch me all the time in the car playing stuff loud in here.
Yeah.
When when we turned on the TV a minute ago, it was really loud in here. But holy moly, that was
Guacamole.
really loud.
It was.
And it was, it was like, geez, guys, turn
But
it
they
down.
turned it down just a little bit, so it was tolerable.
So, again, Martin, I think, is having to play all their games there this year, and so that's their home stadium. But they sit on the visitor side. I don't know what's home side, what's visitor. I really don't.
Well, I think it's whichever one they designate. Every
Well,
time we played there
we were
previously,
sitting on the home side.
Okay, I thought so.
yeah. Every time we played there previously, you're
Which
right.
to me
That's
is
always
the
been
worst
the home
side of the
side.
venue.
It is.
Yeah, because it's
You're
got
right.
low sight lines and all that stuff.
Help me out here how that happens. And again, we've complained about that venue, but I guess we don't have a whole lot of choice when we play in it. But it is what it is. And the Eagles come away with a 27-16 victory. So let's just recap the season so far. You had a blowout loss, you had a blowout victory, and then you had what I'll call a grind-em-out victory because you had a 17-16 game in the fourth quarter.
Pretty competitive, very chippy. But
Yeah,
it was
I
good.
guess
I don't think it was that competitive. I think we could have had
Well, we
several
let
more
it.
scores.
We
And
let
we
it
will
be
talk about
competitive.
that
Yeah.
in
we
depth
let it be
after we
competitive.
talk to Coach Wig here in a minute.
At least
because
21 more points.
There was a lot. When you go back and look at the film of this game, which we will do, we haven't had that chance yet, but there was a lot of things that just seemed really out of sorts and leaving points on the board and missing a chip shot field goal, and there's a lot of things you can still see improvement on I'm going to keep calling them a young team. I don't know when we change that over to they're not inexperienced
And they
anymore.
do keep improving.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Great job.
We will talk to Coach Wig. One of the things I want to talk to him about this morning is that defense. And just you're starting to notice something there.
Cut the dogs loose.
People that are paying attention,
Yeah.
there's something brewing on that side of the ball.
Yeah,
And I like
there's
it.
some good thick sweet tea brewing on that side of the ball, man.
Thick, sweet tea.
Ooh, yeah, concentrate, baby.
Mud tea.
Mud tea.
And number 44 was taking it out on people.
There's
I like his dance after he has.
There's so much to talk about with that front 4, 5, 8, whatever they play,
Yeah.
because those guys, they ponied up last
And like
night.
another coach had intimated, there was some bad intent
Yeah.
going on.
Intimated?
Intimated. So the Eagles come away with a 27-16 win, and we will start district play next week against McKinney Boyd, and we'll get into district stuff too.
Yep.
We're kind of just bannering here for another minute or two until we call Coach Wig, and we'll see what his tone is this morning.
I'm going to guess it's going to be the same it was the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it probably is.
Love Coach Wig.
He's pretty even keel.
Yeah.
At least with us.
Oh, yeah, there were some conversations with the refs that were maybe not so even.
And he had a very intense conversation with a coach last night too, which I thought was something that we'll discuss a little bit as well. But let's give him a ring, and we'll see if he's available.
One ringy dingy.
Uh-oh. Wait. I love that.
Yeah, they can't air that stuff anymore.
See if he answers this morning.
Yeah, we'll see.
I ain't picking up that phone call.
Uh-oh.
He may be sleeping in.
Uh-oh.
Doubt that.
Hello.
Coach!
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
He knows Spanish.
Heck, he does.
Of
I can
course.
just repeat.
So how many languages do you know, Coach?
Well, again, whatever you
Football?
say, I can try to repeat it.
you may not want to repeat everything we say, but
No.
Yeah, as long as it's off the air, I've got no problem with it.
we'll call you earlier next week where you're not on live.
And
Yeah.
I think you have a special ability to talk referee too. That's another language right there.
Yeah.
Well, we were just talking a minute ago about it's a tale of three cities so far, because you've had what we'll call a tough blowout loss, and then you had a blowout win, and then you had a grind 'em out game last night against Martin.
Yeah. And yes, in the scoreboard, that's been the case, but
Yeah.
the constant has been the way the kids are playing. They're just playing so hard. Even again, I keep saying that every snap of that first game of the year, they played hard. But what's happening is when you have a team that's this young and this inexperienced, this when you play as hard as they're playing, the mistakes are going to start dropping, because what they just need is experience. And each time the ball is snapped, we're going to be getting a little bit better. We're still a long way from being a good football team, but as hard as those kids play, they're going to be in a whole lot of football games that maybe execution wise we might not quite should be in yet, but they make up with it with phenomenal effort.
Well, and many things happened last night, and you can start with the opening kickoff, because as we discussed last week with you, and we've known, and you've known Coach Wager over the years.
Yeah.
It's always going to be something with special teams, and sure enough, here we go with an onside kick to start the game. So how much time did y'all spend this week practicing that?
Well, we do that every single week. What we're going to do is, our theory on special teams could be the same as going to be on any side of the ball. Is we're going to prepare as though every team's going to kick an onside every time they kick it. We want to prepare as though teams are going to line up to have 11 guys in the box. We want to be able to throw it. We're going to try to have answers. But the only thing that if you came and watched us on a team that you've never seen kick onside, you'd say, why are y'all practicing the onside so much? Well, you practice the onside so much for in case they do kick the onside. But the adjustment we made was a formational adjustment to it, and it's just a play that we didn't get. We just didn't field it. Which that happens. That's we're going to miss a tackle. We're going to work tackling every day, and we'll miss a tackle. We're going to work going and catching every day, and we might drop a pass. There's things that happen, and it was unfortunate. But what we also knew, and it's not a knock on them, but I knew that if they got one, they would be kicking it every time. And not by no means were we saying let's let them get one.
Yeah.
But at the same point, I knew we'd be able to field them. I have complete confidence in our kids, and then what phenomenal field position you get off the kickoff when you field two. You get two kickoffs out past the 45. That's huge for the game of football. So outside of the first one, I thought the kick return team did a phenomenal job. I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, and then the result of that ultimately was that the defense stood up and nullified it.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was, and part of that was self-inflicted on Martin. They had a chance. They had a receiver too that they could have had us on. But again, it's kind of like we have to be able to field the onside. They have to be able to pitch and catch and do those things. And, I thought it was a great response by the defense getting off the field.
Speaking of that defense, I did some math this morning. I'm a CPA by trade, and so numbers are a big deal to me. And I know you don't pay that much attention to stats, but they only ended up with 208 total yards. And if you take out their two explosive plays, the long touchdown pass, and then right at the start of the second half, they had a 43-yard run. Yeah. You end up with 103 yards given up by the defense on 51 plays. Now, I ain't real smart, but I think that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah. And again, not to just keep talking about 3 games, but those guys have played really well for 3 games. what you look at again, you go back to the first game, and we didn't play well. We didn't execute very well, but the defense played incredibly hard, and we turned the ball over and put the defense out there more. So points piled up, but it wasn't. You don't look at it and say, "Oh my gosh, we were just a porous defense out there on the field."
Right.
And then you get into the next two games, and we haven't turned the ball over. When you don't do that, and you're able to get the defense some rest, and you're able to move forward rather than backwards, the things are going to work out well in this game most of the time. And that's, with the defense that we have, it's just exciting that if we execute on both sides of the ball, you're going to be in it, because, I feel like we're really, really good on the defensive line. I feel like everywhere else we've got phenomenal players who are getting better every day, but that's where our experience is at the defensive line and the quarterback position. And all those other ones, the experience has just got to catch up through all these reps against good opponents that they're getting.
And we've talked all the way home last night about the defensive line and how Mr. Brantley and Zena just, I don't know what happened in that fourth quarter, what y'all did to those two kids, but they just seem to be in on every single play.
Disrupting.
Yeah, just being so disruptive. And Zena had a fourth quarter of a lifetime.
Yeah, well, and they're disruptive every day. I mean, it's every second of every day. But we're doing a good job of keeping them fresh. Both by offense did a great job last night of keeping the defense on the sideline and again, getting first downs and moving the ball to allow them to rest, and then doing a great job with our defensive line rotation, which, we feel like, a number of defensive linemen who are going in there and playing at a high level, so that allows you to come fourth quarter to be incredibly fresh, and we believe that that's going to be, throughout the entire year, that's going to be an edge that our guys will have up front.
Yeah, well, they were really special last night. It's fun to watch because we had, for those of us that have been around a while, visions of 2013 Allen vintage defense coming back that just can really shut down teams, and it's impressive to watch. Now we love high scoring offenses too, but defense is really fun when that happens.
Yeah, well, the game of football, it's what's neat and what's fun to me is every team's going to be a little bit different. So it's the good ones are the ones that find a way to continue to develop a personality based on who you are and what you have, right? So right now the strength of our football team again is the defensive line and the quarterback position, again based on experience and things that they're able to do right now. So it's just finding a way to continue to just juggle it and give them the opportunities to be successful in those settings. And I wasn't here obviously in 2013, but I sure do like this front with the effort that they're playing at, and the way they're starting to just continue to gain confidence but communicate more, and just really, really proud of the way they're playing.
Speaking of effort, we noticed Cavion Sibley last night. The week before, he had a lot of explosive runs and was showing his speed. And last night, while on his touchdown run, he showed a lot of speed getting to the edge. He ran really hard last night because it was tough sledding for him.
Yeah, no, I would take his last night's game over the week before's 1,000 times out of 1,000. It's to the fan, it would look like, boy, they did a good job containing him. Well, it was just a tougher defense, and I thought he did a phenomenal job. That's like you said, he had good tough yards, and then when he had a chance to get in space, he did a good job there. But yeah, I thought he played really well. Yeah,
we did too. Okay, district play next week. You open up with McKinney Boyd, who was 0-3, had a loss last night. But what are your thoughts headed into district?
Well, I don't know anything at all about them. I haven't seen them run a snap, but my thoughts are no different than when I was sitting with you guys out at y'all's place, and y'all are talking about the district of how good they are, how good everyone's improved, and that's all that I keep hearing. And when I talk to people in the district, that's all they keep saying. So my thoughts are that it's got to be one of, if not the toughest districts in Texas high school football. And our goal today is no different than it was 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, or 1 week ago. We wanted to continue to get better throughout non-district to try to improve and get at a point where we can play it within this district at a high level. And I feel like that we're growing up and getting better, but now it's for real. So now it's the stakes are higher. Doesn't mean the intensity in practices or any of those things go up, but it means that we've just got to continue to eliminate mistakes to be able to beat good quality teams. And again, without having seen any of those, but our next opponent, Boyd, I can't really comment on what they do well, what they
Sure.
might be vulnerable to. But I just know that this young team, we've got 12 guys that have played a meaningful snap in a district game at varsity level ever, right? So,
Yep.
so them, it's going to be a little different. It's going to be that they know that that's a meaningful game, and the thing that we've got to do is we just got to really continue to keep them on edge, and that desire, but then the urgency of improvement, right? It's easy for football players or for fans of the game to see you get beat really bad and say, man, y'all got to get better, and then sometimes the community and sometimes the voice out there can work against teams when you win 2 games against good opponents, but a lot of things that we've got to get better at. I mean, a lot. And they all of a sudden start going home, they start walking the halls, and then they start hearing a different tune of that could lead to complacency, right? And we're not a football team by any means that can get the least bit complacent. We've got a ton that we're going to have to improve on to be ready for starting district Friday night. So it's just going to be the challenge. Going to be just keeping them on edge and keeping them to where they understand how far we have to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and we liked, we mentioned Sibley, but you also were rotating out, I think, Michael Crowder, number 29, at running back as well. How's
Yes, we feel like we have, 4 backs, and it's just, when Sibley's fresh and feeling good and doing what he's doing, it's hard to, I'm not going to put Lee Wigginton in for Emmett Smith, when Emmett's running the ball really well, right? But we feel like we have 4 guys that can go and do it that are always ready. And when Crowder went in there, did some really, really good things.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, we loved the new look last night on the unis. We thought those were sharp.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And I guess
I spent a lot of time with the sewing machine this week. So
Well, good job. See, we didn't know you had that skill.
And now those the white helmets that we had with the Eagles on the side, those were the helmets. There was an event where the football dads and the guys.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, did the helmets.
Put the decals on.
Yeah, that's a good experience. I mean, team building.
All right, Coach. Here's your question of the week.
Okay.
Your layup.
Yeah, your layup, because this should be easy for you. And again, we struggle with these, which is hard to believe because we've always got something to say. But all right, you can eat anywhere, or you can have any dinner you want tonight. What are you going to eat?
Man. Wow.
Oh, dude, we stumped him.
Yeah, no, that is. But here's the thing: is of all decision making, my hardest decisions come when it comes to food, and I probably would go to a Japanese steakhouse.
Ooh, wow!
Look at
I've always
that.
liked to.
I don't think any one of us would predicted that
Yeah,
one.
not at all. But that's a good choice.
That's awesome.
Benihana.
Yeah, we would join you there. Hey, I
Kobe
tell you
steak.
what, after that state championship trophy is raised, we'll treat you to a Japanese steakhouse dinner you've never had before.
Yeah, that would be a great time.
It would be. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time, and we appreciate you being so gracious with us every week. And we look forward to Friday night with Boyd, the home opener, home district opener.
Yeah.
And best of luck to you.
And thank you guys. Have a great week. Okay.
You too.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
There he is, folks. Coach Wig spending, man,
Honey, I hate when they wake me up every Saturday morning calling me on the phone.
he has been looking at film for hours by now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's
You gotta imagine he's a very, very early morning person.
He seemed
I
like
think
a
most
good
football
Maybe most
coaches
football
are,
coaches
are.
you know, and they go 20 hours a day, especially during the season. So, you know,
Yeah. God bless the football coach wives.
I didn't
man.
get home till 11 last night,
Yeah.
so you know he didn't get home till probably midnight or later.
Yeah.
With everything he had going on. But
No, that's a good topic. Maybe we could get his wife on and talk about football wives.
well,
Well, and we talked about having
we have, and we're
all
we're
the
still
coaches, or
working on
as
that.
many coaches' wives as we could get. And
So let's get into this game. He brought up a lot of good points, and I like the way he's willing to share.
Yeah.
You know what's going on. You know, like you said, the kids are playing hard, and when you play hard and you execute and you gain more experience, you're going to get better at what you do. And
Yeah, you just chip away at the little mistakes.
yeah, and like he said,
Fall by the wayside.
he even said Martin had open receivers on the first couple
yeah,
plays.
that all they had to do was toss the ball, and
they couldn't. He said they're going to
Get it
miss a
done.
catch or a throw, and they did, and that happens to every team. So
what?
it's nice to hear him say that, but
Yeah.
he looks at it from both sides too, and I appreciate that out of him. But this wasn't going to be an easy game. You go back and look at Martin, and personally I didn't know what to think of them because they beat Lake Travis, they turned around and beat Cedar Hill. But you look up after those two games, and Cedar Hill and Lake Travis are 0-4.
Yeah.
Cedar Hill gets waxed again last night by South Lake. So that team obviously is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
I didn't check to see if Lake Travis won last night, but you know they're probably starting to get in their district schedule, and so it might be. One of y'all look that up and see if they did. And
Yeah.
they've been playing with a backup quarterback, but still, it's Lake Travis. You think they'd be able to overcome?
Well, and when you watch the Lake Travis game with Martin, you know, number 4, the running back.
Yep, Michael Barrow.
Just like they did with us, they ended up going to a lot of Wildcat where it was nothing but him.
Yep.
At Wildcat, and that tore Lake Travis up a lot worse than it did us.
Yep.
So eventually, you know, they were getting the corner on us, and eventually,
Fun.
we ended up containing that.
They beat Johnson 55-17. So
Okay,
they're
there
1
you
and
go.
2.
1 and 2. Johnson.
Johnson.
San Antonio.
And Johnson.
Johnson.
I don't know.
But
Johnson and
yeah, so
Johnson.
you look at Martin and go, okay, they're averaging over 40 points a game. They've played what used to be. Again, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus this early in the season, but you know, used to be playoff contenders.
Right.
You know, especially Lake Travis. Cedar Hill has kind of been a little weird since Joey McGuire left. But you were thinking, okay, what are you going to get here? And Allen has played Arlington Martin enough with Wager to know. It's
Even if he does have hair.
yeah, he grew his hair back, man. That was really confusing to some
Looks
people.
like he's put on a few pounds too.
He might have done that. Well, when you have hair, you
Well,
gain
the good
weight.
Lord taketh away, and he
Yeah,
giveth.
there you go.
But it's always a mess with him because you can expect fake punts, you can expect onside kicks, you can
Fake
and,
field
and-
goals.
And honestly, you look at their guys; they all look like athletes.
Yep.
Yeah, but you wonder, why does he have to go through those extremes each and every game, trick plays, onside kicks, to try and win?
Going for 2 when you're on, you know, in a game that is 17-13 after you score a touchdown, you kick the extra point, you're down a field goal. You go for 2 and you don't get it. Now you're still need a touchdown because they ended up kicking a field goal rather than being tied. You're still down 1.
Well, that shows confidence in number 1, their special teams and their running backs to be able to get that 2-point extra point play, and maybe the offense to continue scoring if they don't make it.
Yep.
And our defense had something to say about that.
We can chat about that. You know, Alan, it was a strange game, and in fact, like we say, Martin kicked off with the onside kick. It got a great bounce, and that
did.
was the only
It
one
did.
of the night
That was
that
the
got
big
that bounce.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Got
It
that
was
big-
the only one.
It was a big high bounce, and
Went right over the front line.
after that, we recovered every single one of them, really with no problem.
Right.
That's right.
So
Good
they
job.
got the one bounce, and so you get one. The defense holds. You know, Allen gets the ball back, and it was. I don't know what you call the offense last night. It was a grind.
Mm-hmm.
over and over and over again. Because Allen only had 267 yards of offense. It wasn't like we were running up and down the field. We had great field position most of the night.
Yeah.
But they just couldn't seem to take advantage of it. You'd have a penalty, a blocking below the waist.
Most
or
inopportune time.
Or a bad
yeah.
snap.
Yeah.
Or just things left and right that just, you're like,
Celebration.
if you can just get rid of these little mistakes, you'd be so much more efficient.
One things we'd be looking for in this district game, I'm looking for better center play because I think, last night there was some struggling with low snaps and ball skeetering, but they should improve on that.
That was more
that.
towards the second. That was after the second. That was in the second half.
Right.
I mean, before they were all spot on.
Right.
It just seemed to not be getting it there. Had to pick it up off the carpet several times.
And
when we were flipping between 55 and
67.
Yep. And I think 67 went out to
You got a boo.
got hurt a little bit, got a boo-boo.
He got a boo-boo.
Got a boo-boo.
Connor Masters got a little bit of a boo-boo.
Yeah.
But, Allen got the ball, their first possession. They went 16 plays.
Yeah. It's
And
a good
they
drive.
only got down to the 33-yard line.
Right. So you're doing some back it up.
And they were going to try a long field goal,
Mm-hmm.
and they get a movement penalty.
Yeah.
So you back them up
out of
5,
field goal range.
and
Yeah.
you have to punt. And you're like, ugh. And you end up with a touchback, so you only gain a couple yards. But on the first play, actually on the second play, if you remember on that series when Martin got the ball, they fumbled the snap on the first play, and they recovered. They fumbled the snap on the second play, and Zena got it.
Here we go.
And so, for the second week in a row, I think he recovered 2 fumbles last week. I know he recovered at least 1. He gets another one this week, and then one of the best runs, like Coach said, he likes the way Sibley ran last night as opposed to what he did the week before.
Mm-hmm.
His touchdown run last night on the sweep to the left, and hopefully we have this highlight, but he stiff armed 2 guys.
Oh, it was
and just
a thing of
outran him
beauty.
to the corner.
Yeah.
And that was the speed. Now, you saw the speed last week on the long runs, but that speed on a short run like that to get the corner and to get away from those 2 guys was incredible.
Yeah.
And if we were watching that game at our stadium last night, you'd be able to clearly tell that he was in bounds. Last night, I thought he was out of bounds.
Yeah.
It's just how poor the sight lines
so
and stuff
bad.
of that
Great
stadium
for
are.
baseball,
Yeah.
not so much for football because you're sitting,
Well,
so
and
long.
there's running with intensity, and then when you mix that intensity with some technique, like he was showing, you get up onto a plane all by yourself, and you can make those plays. And some of those running backs that we've had, if you just barely touch their shoe, they're down.
Yeah.
And
Second,
not
third effort.
Cavion.
It was
Not
incredible.
Mr.
Just
Sibley.
pushing down walls.
Yeah, he only ran 10 times last week, and he had 229 yards or whatever it was. And then, last night he carried the ball 30 times, which is a workload for 146.
Mm-hmm.
So he still, he almost averaged 5 yards a carry, but those were tough yards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that 16-yarder may have been his longest run of the night. He didn't have that many. I mean, Martin was playing everybody in the box. I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
They weren't playing anybody deep. And
When their linebacker play was fantastic because when Sibley would go around toward the outside, whether it was a sweep or just on to the outside, the linebackers were going in and filling those gaps, and so it was hard to get some yardage out there.
And what about that leap?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
That's a learning moment because he was
Go ahead.
getting trapped up like that, and
Yeah, they
It
were
was great to
grabbing
see.
his feet,
yeah,
and then it was in the fourth quarter, I think.
Yeah.
He learns, oh, wait, I can jump.
I heard
Yeah, cue the
I heard
highlight
it.
because we got that one for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
16. Eagles out front. Here we go.
Hurdles people. So it's pretty cool to see.
Oh,
Just he's got the package.
that gave him an extra 10 or 12 yards
Yeah.
right there.
for sure.
Well, Allen scores to go up 7-0. Kickoff to Martin, and then on the first play, you have a blown coverage. I'm gonna
Yeah.
call it that
Yeah.
because it was blown, whatever it was.
And it just seems like there's a tendency to try and protect against the run, and the guy got behind him
62 yards later,
5,
we have
6,
a tie
7
game.
yards, and you're not catching up at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you wake him
Experience.
up? He's over there just like falling asleep. Are you hot?
Nope.
Okay.
But one of the things that I felt was Martin. It seemed like I was just waiting them to score on any play.
Yeah.
But to me, we were very in control because we were just methodically marching it down, which to me made me feel like Allen was more in control than Martin was. Martin was just waiting for a last gasp,
Yep.
to try to
Some
score.
some sort of big play.
Well, it's like that one series where they took it deep in their territory,
Yep.
Wide awake Wiley.
and they did that wildcat and just ran the ball, just pushed him back, and he would go up to the line until he couldn't go any further, and he'd look where the hole was,
Yeah.
and he went to the side,
Yep.
either side, and he was, you get an extra 4 or 5 yards,
Mm-hmm.
But they never did that again.
Well, the Eagles' next touchdown occurred in the second quarter. Again, you talk about methodical. 10 plays, 62 yards. How many times did we go 4, 3, 2, 1?
Yeah,
Years
we're guessing
gone
how
by.
many.
Nobody ever
plays.
said 10.
No, nobody ever said 10. 10 plays, 62 yards, and as you mentioned, Michael Crowder got the touchdown run on that. To go up 14-7, and you're like, okay, you're making them chase you, which is good.
Right. Can we extend this?
They're not getting to kick off, which is good because you're playing with it. And they go to halftime up, 14-7. And so you're like, okay, is this what I expected? And I'm not sure if it was or wasn't at that point. But you've got a lead. Martin gets the ball to start the second half, and that's when they came out and started running the Wildcat. And this is where on the second play, Barrow broke. Was it Barrow that broke the long run?
Number 4.
Yeah.
I think it was him. He ran down to the 2 or 3 yard line and they scored, and all of a sudden it's a 14-13 game. They go for 2.
Just cause.
And they don't get it. Allen comes back, kicks a field goal. They're up. Martin gets a field goal. And it's just you're going into the fourth quarter and it's 17-16, and you're like, guys, what's going to happen here? And this is where I think we noticed something. Now, again, we're a bunch of old men and we don't see as well, and maybe we don't pay attention. But we think we noticed a change in defensive philosophy. Because Martin was continuing to do the Wildcat and do it pretty effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they didn't have that many yards on the night, but they were grinding out. And there was a change in the defensive line where we started playing 5 D linemen as opposed to 4.
And taking at least one of those, a defensive end.
Yep.
One of those being Zena, putting them a little further outside with a more direct angle.
Yep.
Towards the action.
And he had a fourth quarter. Every play on defense, it was like Zena.
A fourth quarter to remember.
Yeah. And when you free up potentially what I would call your best defensive player to turn himself loose, because he can run like a deer, and he plays defensive end, and he's just going to get wherever the ball is, and he just seemed to be everywhere. You know, Brantley and Williams just kept clogging up the middle. Yeah. Those two guys are just, Nettles.
Who was it that sacked the quarterback, blindsided him, and just...
That was I couldn't tell if it was either 46 or 40. It was Nathan Marsh.
Yeah, we'll look at the video on that, but that was...
And that's interesting because Nathan goes running out there, and he's like 6 inches shorter than everybody else, and you're just like, what the heck? And then he's the first one.
Oh,
he must like scoot right between
he's
guys.
Explosive and a game changer.
Yeah,
I
he's
like
only
that.
5'10", but hey, you find a way to get to the ball carrier.
That's right.
So that change in the fourth quarter, after about 2 series, Wager said, "Okay, enough of that. Let's."
Yeah.
And they fell behind enough where Allen scores again, and okay, you're down, 11 now.
Yeah.
And you're like, uh-oh.
Now you have to pass.
Now you have to pass. They put their quarterback back in, but at that point, then the dogs just turn loose.
Yeah.
And we'll have a video of of Mr. Timothy Brantley, courtesy of Zena making the quarterback step up. Mr.
Yeah,
Brantley.
Zena and Brock both went in.
Brantley got dessert handed to him on that one. And, have mercy. And he just swallowed him up. And it's, again, I love good defense. I love offense too, but I love seeing good defense. And that, really the whole game outside of 2 plays was really very good defense on their part last night. But to see those guys up front, and honestly, for me, it was a question mark this year, having lost David Hicks back to Katy.
Yep.
You knew other people were going to have to step up, and the question is, who is that going to be? And I think that whole group.
And what's the personality of this defense going to be?
Yeah.
Because when you've got some superstar like that, not to say Zena or any of the other players are less of a star than that, but that defense takes on a personality.
Yeah.
And I'm liking it.
It's a little bit nasty.
Yeah.
There's some nastiness up
Mr.
front.
New.
Yeah.
Had a bonger in there. And
it's a little odd,
Poor
but
choice of words.
It reminds me of when my son turned 2 years old. And we put him in the high chair. He was kind of getting out of the high chair, and we put a little mini cake on the high chair in front of him, and he looks at it and he like puts his hand on it, and then he just and all of a sudden it's like wild abandon, my friends.
It's fun to watch. Fun to watch. So the Eagles win 27-16 in a good grind game. Which, it's good to play. It's good to play a fourth quarter game, and that's what that was. You outscored them, 10-3 in the fourth quarter, and
against a team that was averaging 47 points a game.
Yeah, ranked 9th in the state.
And how many times have we gotten up on teams and then try and hold on to a lead, as opposed to accelerate?
Try not to lose.
Exactly, as opposed to accelerate that defense, and we're not trying not to lose. We're taking our heads off.
Shout out to Branscombe and his fellow minions he's got working with the defense, because we notice.
Oh, absolutely.
We're seeing it.
And that's that improvement that Coach was talking about too. Every game is
you take away
leaps and bounds.
2 plays, like I mentioned earlier. They had 103 total yards. Arlington Martin had 103 total yards.
Yeah.
If you take away 2 plays, and you're going to win a lot of ball games. If you can doing that, if you can squash the 2 explosive plays, there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing. When you don't have turnovers, again, you're 2 games in a row without a turnover, and you got one yourself last night, but you can win a lot of football games. I don't care how inexperienced you are, you know. And again, we'll have to talk to Coach about when he's going to get off the. My kids are inexperienced because at what point
Just a bunch of young,
You can't play that
inexperienced
card.
you can't play that card
kids. They don't have
forever.
meaningful reps.
Yeah, because they're playing a lot of people, which
Yeah.
I like, and they're building depth, which is good in case of injury.
Yeah.
I think you've seen it at the linebacker position because Diego's been out since.
No. He played last night.
Oh, he did play last night.
he
played
made
on both teams.
He made tackles.
He played on
and
both
he even
teams.
played offense.
He
Yeah.
ran the ball last
He ran
night.
the ball.
Yeah, that was impressive.
That announcer, bless his heart. I don't know who his spotter was, but all you got to do is look and see number 19 in street clothes on the sideline. But no, he was making tackles.
Yeah, that
and-
announcer was home cooking.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I asked the guys on the way home, I said, since when do announcers get to do play-by-play? Because that what it just felt like, especially in the second half, he started to do a lot of play-by-play. It's crazy. Are they fixing to do picks on there? Well, sorry, guys. We're watching the
Game day.
game day on ESPN behind us here. They're down in Austin today. As you can see, David and I are repping. Hook 'em. We may get drilled, but oh well.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
Hey, true fans though.
That's right.
Since I was 2.
Oh my gosh. So next week, McKinney Boyd. Look at you. McKinney Boyd, Joe McBride retired.
Yeah, and so not to say this is the way it's going to go, but McKinney Boyd lost to Plano West 24-21 last night.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Now McKinney Boyd last year,
In a
it was
squeaker.
a tough, gritty game.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, we played it at the
It could be that way any day.
Crown
So-
Jewel of
Crown
Texas.
Jewel of Texas high school football.
Played at somebody's jewels.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to expect out of them this year.
Yeah,
We're
you don't
0-3.
take any team for granted.
You
I mean,
don't.
that's coach speak. That's the
It
team
is.
has to take that
You
approach.
still got to go out. You got to beat them. Now, do you have the talent to beat them? Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, you're obviously more talented than they are, and it's your district opener.
yeah.
You want to perform well. You're back at home. I think you're going to see. It's a great opportunity. One, to continue to improve, and two, to give a lot of people some experience, which is what I think I'm hearing Coach say every week too. Is the more experience they get, the better they're going to be, and that's all the people, not just one or two.
Be interesting to see mentally how the team does also.
Yeah.
Knowing
Yeah.
that they're going up against a 0-3 team.
Yep.
Because you can't get too big ahead
No.
and get popped in the face.
No.
And
We've seen that before.
we're going to have
Play
plenty
it
of
with your food.
Exactly, plenty of challenges in district.
Mm-hmm.
Just a you okay if we do a little wrap up of district play?
Let's do district.
Yeah. So, you had the Denton Geyer Wildcats. They kind of handled Lancaster, which is maybe not surprising, 50-27.
5A school.
Yeah.
A good
And-
5A school.
Yeah, and then Plano East, Professor Diggs,
They're
favorite
not in our
team.
district.
I know, but they played a team that is in our district, Prosper Rock Hill.
Yep.
The Blue Hawks, who have an absolutely fantastic run through.
Yeah, pretty cool
blow
looking.
up.
Which coach is that?
Oh,
Butt
hung
dial.
up. That was one of the Balding Eagles.
The
and he hung up.
Schrade man. Anyway, so Plano East beat them 35-28. So Plano East is 3-0.
Shout out to
Wow.
Diggs. He's so excited. I think this is Plano East off week coming up because I think I saw him tweet this morning.
Yeah, who am I gonna
Plano
go
East
see?
will be undefeated in late September, and I've never been able to say that for the longest time because they got it on bye week, I think.
Yeah. And then McKinney Lions, they played the Flower Mound Jaguars and
Yeah.
ended up beating them 49-21, which was impressive.
McKinney is now 2-1. A
Yeah.
team to watch because they got the transfer from Frisco Liberty, I
I
think.
think Liberty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Luster,
QB.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Kendrick Luster, and they've got Byron. I don't know if it's Byron or Brian Jackson,
Mhm.
the running back.
And they got some good coaches, the former Allen Eagles.
Who? Oh,
Stop!
that was too easy. You set me up on that one. That was a softball. But yeah, McKinney's a team to watch, and a lot of
Yeah.
people think McKinney will be the fourth playoff team out of this district, but they will be a tough. That will be a tough game.
Yeah. And then you've got Little Elm, the Lobos, lost a heartbreaker against Plano Prestonwood private school. But
That was a high-scoring game, was it not?
it was
42-41.
42-41.
Okay,
There you go.
So you're back to the same thing with Little Elm.
Yeah.
Score a lot of points, give up a lot of points.
Yeah, and then Denton Braswell, they got throttled by Byron Nelson.
That was a team that I
Trophy
thought
Club.
was going to show a little more. And again, they're 2-1.
Yeah.
It's not like they're 0-3 at this point, but
Yeah.
to give up 79 points.
Yeah, that's a little embarrassing, and
I mean,
something
it's-
wasn't clicking. Or
It's Byron Nelson. It's again nothing against Byron Nelson. They're undefeated at this point, but
a baseball and soccer.
Yeah.
High school.
79 points. Ugh.
Yeah, they're showing some moxie there.
Yeah.
And then we mentioned McKinney Boyd and Plano West beating them 24-21. And then Prosper Eagles, one of our nemesis, lost to them last year in the regular season.
Let's talk about them for a second because I
Yeah.
don't know if y'all been following. They opened the season with a win over Trinity, 14-13.
Right.
Last week, I just went totally blank on who they played, but they blew them out. And then this week they come back and they play Rockwall at home, and they win 19-11.
Right. A low-scoring affair, which you wouldn't expect because Rockwall has some history of very high
Rockwall was
scores.
playing with a backup quarterback last night.
Okay.
Their starter
Good
was
to know.
out. Which,
Rockwell has a history of one receiver. Whoa.
yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to remember who Prosper played last week because that was going to be an important part of my. If y'all hang on one second, y'all
Yeah,
really
no
down
problem.
banner for a second.
And then our favorite team, Trinity, ended up playing Flower Mound Marcus and lost 30-20 last night. So Trinity is
What's going on over
trending
there?
down. I know. What's happening with the Tongans
Dismantled
and
the
all that
Trojan
stuff?
horse.
Something. Yeah,
And that's a line weaver coaching over. That's line weaver's son
that's right.
is coaching over there.
Dry rot got to the wood for the horse. And they're having to rebuild the Trojan horse.
Dead air.
And well, so then the other one, the Forney Jackrabbits, fear the bunny,
Fear the rabbit. Yeah.
fear the bunny. They ended up winning. What was it, 50 to? Gosh,
59 to
Not
nothing.
nothing.
Coach Gleaner
gosh, yeah.
whooping up the rabbit.
I know. We got some blue helmets here, and really looking forward to that other one.
Yeah,
I
we're
haven't-
waiting on our.
I don't think I got a
Jackrabbit.
response to my tweet there.
You didn't. He probably doesn't know who it is.
Oh, yeah,
Hey,
he does.
why don't we send DoorDash over there with some ice cream or something like that, and
Ooh, we should.
have them bring it back over here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll
we
work.
we delivered some ice cream. We're supposed to do a pickup of a outlet.
Have a helmet, please.
Yeah, exactly. So Prosper's interesting to me because I don't think they're as explosive as they were last year offensively. The defense is still good, and I think that's what got Allen last year was their defense. And of course, giving up some long pass plays too. But I think their receivers that they had have graduated. The quarterback is still there. Saxey, they played Saxey last week,
Saxey?
51-14. So they did have some explosiveness. And I said 14-13. They beat Trinity 17-13. And again, first game of the year, but it's Trinity, who's now 0-3 and has got blown out twice. I say blown out 30-20, I guess, but he scored 68 on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not quite sold on Prosper yet.
They're probably not a real big favorite at this point to win their district, because North Crowley's a pretty strong team.
Yeah. Very.
Prosper plays Geyer this week, so that
That'll be very telling.
will be very telling.
Mm-hmm.
We all know Geyer's rolling, and they're good. They've got a quarterback. He's going to OU, and we'll see. I think this week will tell a lot to see how that game unfolds. So that'll be a big district game this week, and we'll tell a lot. It's kind of like that starts the ball rolling on how the district is going to fall out
That's right.
as it goes. So, whew.
And we don't face them until I think the third to last game
Yeah,
of the
later in
season.
the year, and lots can change between now and then.
That's right. Lots of experience can be gained on both sides.
Yeah,
I mean, how many times have you heard, our team is not the same team that started out the
Yeah.
year?
Prosper ends the season with Allen on the 28th of October, and then McKinney. So it's not like they're gonna have it easy at the end of the year too. So it's just wild. So Allen's 2-1. We head to McKinney Boyd this week. Excuse me. They come see us.
Yes. It's a home game.
Tailgate starts.
We
at
will
2.
be tailgating. Yeah.
Thad's cooking. I have no idea what. We'll find out.
Yeah. We'll remind him.
Some of that Georgia food.
Soul food. We're going to the Soul Kitchen this weekend.
We'll be cooking some pork butt.
Pork tenderloin.
Pork tenderloin.
Probably so.
That's his go-to meal.
It is.
That's all right.
It is. So, again, a good win last night. Progress on both sides of the ball. Still some things to work on. And I'm going to say still some things to work on for the coaching staff, too. We keep talking about the players, but you got to remember we got, outside of 2 coaches, no one is returning, and those 2 coaches are not the head coaches, so they're learning the new system, too. So it's all like your 6-week gelatin that needs to coagulate here. It's just taking time.
Put it in the fridge, yeah. And then shout out to our OC. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Collins. Mr. Collins. We'll see if anybody figures that out. So, shout out to John Bell. We got a text from him yesterday on the way to the game. He got to watch it on NFHS last night. John, hope you enjoyed it and hope you're doing well.
NFHS was working, but the old coach wasn't.
Yeah, bummer on that one.
Yeah. And they blamed the Rangers, and I got to address that a little bit. People kept saying, well, the Rangers had blocked all streaming media. And people say, well, that's not possible. How can you do that? Well, it's very possible. When you have control of the feed, there's also private wireless systems that they have control of. There's what's called a DAS, a distributed antenna system. And the people have control. The people that own the venue have control of that. So don't be talking outside your, what. If the Rangers lock down all streaming, you could get internet, but they would not allow streaming. Just like on your airplanes, they do not allow streaming on your Wi-Fi.
I don't mean to be stupid here, but doesn't the city of Arlington own the stadium, not the Rangers?
Well, but it's the services in there. So that would not necessarily be the city. It's like the Dallas Cowboys. They control what happens in that stadium, even though they don't maybe necessarily own the stadium. If the city does. That's the situation there. But so anyway, old coach wasn't able to broadcast and
he'll be back next week. So it'll be.
Hopefully, we'll never play there again. Let's just put it that way.
That'd be great.
Be still my heart.
Yeah. I'd rather deal with what we have to deal with at AT&T than sit through that place.
Yeah.
That's
it's not a football venue.
No,
it's just not.
And we're not football guys, but we talk it every week. So there you go.
Yeah.
Episode 94 is in the books.
Yes. Love you, Eagles.
Hope y'all have a good week.
Coaches,
come by
wives, players, families.
Tailgate. Yeah.
Wrestlers.
Everybody.
Wrestlers.
Basketball.
Come by and do it.
Volleyball. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. Can
Tennis
volleyball
team is
please
kicking
move
butt.
games to Thursday night so that we can go to some volleyball games? We want to support the team, but it's hard.
Yeah, it's just put it at such a bad time. And I feel bad for the girls. I feel bad for the parents that want to come to, it's just
Football, yeah.
I guess they start at 5:30, so I guess technically, especially on a home game, they could make it over. But I don't know.
Well, yeah, if we took our chopper.
Well, the golf team moved their games to Friday night too, didn't they?
Speaking of golf, I'm going to give a shout out for the Touchdown Club. The
That
annual
went right
golf
over their
tournament
heads, didn't it?
is October 7th
On our bye week.
at West
Westwood,
West-
Westridge.
Ridge in
Ridge.
McKinney. You can sign up now on the Touchdown Club website. Get your foursome in.
It's right off Custer.
Yeah, it's not far. Come on out. It's a Friday, but come on out and play golf. We'll be there being stupid and having
Take
fun.
the dang day off.
And support the Touchdown Club. And we'll
We're
go
using
from there.
the golf cart for the flags.
I wish. I got to get that thing fixed.
Well, yeah, we'll have like a fifth. We'll have a foursome.
imagine
We could have our
probably
fifth,
pull
and
that
we'd be
off.
driving around. You could take the VIPs
Home games.
around home games.
But
Yeah.
yeah, come out and support the Touchdown Club. All that money goes to help the football players in so many different ways. So, support that best you can. So, anything else, fellas?
No.
Alan,
Nope.
Safe trip to Madrid as you're headed out today.
Gracias.
Yeah.
Gracias.
So, when are you going to make an announcement to the world?
I have nothing to announce yet.
Okay, cool.
All right.
You'll never sell that house.
Until next time, people. It's over. We're out and hook 'em.